I'm hearing it double.
Yeah, double two. That's third double. All right, what's going on? What's happening? Us, what's going on, buddy? Block Shop is ready to roll. Sitting here in Vegas, just chilling. What's happening, man? How are you doing?
Oh, I think the question is more what's happening and how are you doing? I've got some major FOMO right now with you guys doing your thing down in Vegas. You got there okay? I saw a few tweets last night. How was the operation getting here, and most importantly, getting set up to actually pull the shows off?
Buddy, I have to tell you, man, it's been pretty smooth so far. Like we took off 11 minutes early and landed 13 minutes earlier than we were supposed to in Vegas, of all places, if you can believe it. Like, it was just as smooth as they go. Got off, our equipment bag was there. Like, it's gone very smoothly so far. And then we didn't know when we got here last night. We're like, well, where are we going to set up still? We looked in our rooms, looked like it was fine. Then we came down to the second level convention center. There's some Oilers fans right there. Came down to the second level convention center. And as we were walking around, we're like, well, these tables are first come, first serve, and nobody in Vegas is going to be here at 4:30 in the morning to claim these tables. So we just took a whole corner here, and we got our own little area on the convention center at Park MGM. So, and the internet's actually pretty good. So it's worked out very well so far, buddy.
So you guys are actually not in your rooms right now.
This is like a huge green couch I'm sitting on just out in, there's like a conference going on just over here in a ballroom right next to us. So yeah, no, it's great. It actually worked out very well. Nobody's kicked us out yet. So I think we're going to be able to do it for the next couple of days.
And the show went well. The folks at the Edmonton airport taking good care of you fellas.
I think they're pretty happy. We went to the Sphere last night as advertised. Pretty cool to see some of the stuff that they can do there. It's awesome. So yeah, it's been going really well. Yeah, you're looking at nonstop flights. It's funny, as we were walking off the plane yesterday and heading towards baggage, it said for everyone that's about to take the flight to Winnipeg. And we're like, wow, look at that. Winnipeg's got directs too. So that's pretty good as well. So yeah, no, it's I mean, we haven't even been here for 14 hours. I guess now about 14, 15 hours, but it's going really smooth, buddy, and setting up nicely here for the next little while.
I've been lucky enough to be at a bunch of Super Bowl weeks. I imagine the second you sat down in Vegas, you knew that the big game was here on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that right away for sure. Although I did say, like, walking around last night, you could tell it was kind of like Monday, maybe.
Yeah,
Like there was some Chiefs jerseys around, stuff like that kicking around, but it wasn't too crazy. Like Park MGM, they've got a field ops conference going on here right now, but like down in the lobby, there's some Super Bowl merch and stuff. But like we got in last night, we landed straight to the Sphere. Then basically straight back here in bed by about 12:30, got up and doing this. So we haven't even really technically stepped outside yet. So yeah, we'll do that this afternoon. And then obviously the Oilers and Golden Knights tonight, but that'll give me a better feel for what's going on from a Super Bowl perspective for sure.
Speaking of the Sphere, I mean, you guys went inside. I loved what I was seeing outside. A big Chiefs helmet, a very cool Mahomes ad, which I tried to get a couple screen caps of for tweets later on this week. It was it looks like a pretty incredible facility. Like, what did you guys do in there? Just kind of take a tour of it and check it out?
We went to a show. We went to, they had a show called Postcards from Earth, or Postcard of Earth. And it was like almost like the history of the planet, taking you kind of through the time. It's weird because you're just sitting there, but it feels like you're like moving because you're fully. It was pretty awesome. I think I'd like to see like an actual concert there, see how it is, but just to be outside of it, like when you fly in now to Vegas, boom, the Sphere, it's just like lit up. It's amazing. Not as big from the air as I thought maybe it would be, but then when you get down right next to it, you're like, holy smokes, this thing's insane. So yeah, it was. It's definitely worth it. I mean, if you're gonna come down to Vegas, whether you're from Winnipeg or from Edmonton. I would definitely check out. Definitely check out the Sphere. It was a pretty good time, but it's steep in there. Like we were up in the 400 level, which is a great level to be in because we're right up at the top and we're right in the middle. And it gives me like some. I was just like, man, we're pretty high. Like this is creeping me out a little bit, but it was a lot of fun actually. I really liked it. I don't mind. Like you can come to Vegas any way you want, right? You can come with buddies, have a crazy time. You can come with like your wife, do a bunch of shows, and we're kind of mixing in a bunch of. And now, I mean, we had Lisa on from the Vegas Conventions Authority earlier today, and she was great. She kind of laid out baseball, like the baseball stadium is on the strip, like they're building it on the strip. Like you know where MGM is, it's across the street, like it's going to be right there, which is just awesome. Like in 2030, this place is going to be. It's already insane, but in 2030. With the baseball stadium on the street and the NBA stadium they're building, it's going to be like sports fans' paradise.
Well, the Knights started it all, and soon, I mean, they'll get an NBA team almost for sure, and we'll do that. Now, are you going to? Where's Radio Row? Is that at the Luxor?
I know the Luxor is the Media Hotel. Maddie, do you know where Radio Row was? Is it at the Luxor? I'm assuming. I mean, it's the Media Hotel, so it would.
Or it might be at a convention. It might be at a convention center or something. I don't know. You got to get down there because you need to do a little bit of intel.
Okay.
For when we all get to New Orleans next year, it'll be. You got to take your first run through Radio Row, see everything that's going on, wrap your head around it. For hopefully, I mean that's on our list. Like we have 12 months to plan this, twist Pat and Jake's rubber arms, and to make it the first official Lock Shop Super Bowl week festival. It would be, and man, New Orleans. Oh my God, the fact that it's in New Orleans is me even more excited because of how great the New Orleans big food city. And speaking of food, what have you eaten so far since you've been in Vegas?
I figured this would probably come up. As you know, I'm not a huge foodie, but things have been tight. So last night at the Sphere, we had about 20 minutes to kill before the show, so I got a big old piece of pepperoni Sicilian pizza. Delicious. Very nice. Nice big square piece, like a little bit thicker but light. It was awesome. And then didn't have anything to eat until like 20 minutes ago. And if you can believe it or not, I had a banana. I had a banana here in Vegas. I had a banana and a Kit Kat king size. So I had a Kit Kat and a banana for breakfast basically today.
Did you pack the banana? Does I want to have a bunch of bananas?
I purchased a banana from like the store in the lobby of the Park MGM. The lady looked at me like I was nuts.
Yeah, well, usually if it's like 10:30 in the morning, usually people are getting a 25-ounce Bud Light, and
I figured I should put something
pack an M&M peanut just to get some energy in you.
Yeah, exactly. I might have to try that. Who knows?
Well, I see you got a claw there, though. That's
well, White Claw sponsors the Hangout now, so it's we got a bunch of White Claws kicking around. Mango, I will be honest, mango's not my favorite one, but it's hitting the spot today, so that's nice as well. When in Vegas, I mean, we were saying yesterday when we were flying in, Maddie makes decisions quickly. He goes, imagine if we could just move EST to Vegas and just use a green screen for shots of Edmonton behind us. I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. I have not placed a sports bet yet. But I went and got these guys a couple of coffees, and while I was waiting for the coffees at the Circle Bar, I did pump $5 into one of the machines just sitting at the desk at the bar. Didn't win anything, but played a little Deuces Wild there for a couple minutes. That's all I've gambled so far.
Deuces Wild, just like home, hitting the slappers.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You
guys are staying at Park MGM?
We're at Park MGM, which is awesome location, man. I've stayed at Excalibur, I've stayed at the Stratosphere way down. I stayed at the old Imperial Palace here. I've stayed at the MGM Grand, I think 3 times now. I've never stayed in New York, but this is perfect. Like if you're a hockey fan coming down here, stay at the Park MGM, because literally you walk out and across the street, T-Mobile Arena, it's right there.
Yeah, no, I stayed there. I stayed there for about 5 or 6 days. I came down to see Gary and go to a couple games. And yeah, I mean, if you're planning on going to T-Mobile Arena for anything, Park MGM is the most convenient spot. I mean, even if the room is a little bit more expensive, just what you'll save on not needing to rip around and take cabs or Ubers anywhere just for the game, will probably make it worthwhile. I know it's Super Bowl week, but I have a feeling tonight it's going to look like playoffs, because there's going to be a ton of Oiler fans kicking around as the Oilers try to keep on making that charge at history. Have you seen lots of fans?
Oh, yeah. There's been lots of fans. Like we were at the airport leaving. We're bumping into fans and listeners of the show and stuff we're on the plane and people are stopping in a row and being like, "Hey, you're the EST guys. We always love what you're doing." And then as soon as we got here, I mean, same. We had a guy this morning. We set up because of the time change. We started our show at 5 a.m. So we were sitting here like 4:30 getting ready. About 5:15 in the morning. We were waiting for it to happen. And sure enough, it happened. Some guy comes around the corner, stumbling and bumbling in a McDavid jersey. And he started to walk towards us, and then he turned, went over to the escalator over to our right here. I don't think he knew it was an escalator because he went down the first 5 steps like this, then grabbed onto the side. So he goes down. We were kind of laughing at him. Then we see him come circling back up on the other escalator, and he comes over, and Matty Owanek had to like help him down to the lobby and show him where to go and stuff. So he was in one. So we got an Oilers fan about 5:15 this morning who had
We've all been there. No judgment. Yeah. No judgment zone.
Yeah. No, it was it was good. It's been a fun trip. I mean, we're just getting going. We're going to be here for 2 more full days. We're going to go check out the NFL fan experience on Thursday afternoon. We've got tickets to that, so that should be pretty cool. We'll go check that out.
I imagine that will be connected to Radio Row. Like, I imagine it'll all be there.
And I think that's at Mandalay Bay. So maybe Radio Row's at Mandalay Bay.
You know what? That could be. And that actually would make sense because the Luxor is relatively close to Mandalay.
Yeah, it's right there.
But yeah, you know what? Look ahead or pop in and try and get passes to get in Radio Row. Although there is a way I think the fans can get in there. Like if you just want to do a walk around and check it out.
Yeah.
But you're definitely going to want to do that because once you see it, you'll realize. I give Gary Lawless credit. He was there. I think it was the Jacksonville Super Bowl. We were just starting our show, and he was down there covering the game for the Free Press. And he came back and he said, "We're going there next year." Basically, exactly what I'm saying to you, he did to me. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool." And then we went. And it was absolutely there's honestly nothing like it in this business. I mean, the amount of people that you'll meet, connections you'll make, opportunities to talk to people that you normally wouldn't. And again, you guys have a weird time. I mean, being on so freaking early.
It's so early, yeah.
There are some people there. But the thing is, if you don't mind setting up shop and hanging around, you'll be able to record tons of stuff and then have it for the show the next day.
I mean, we are on for 7 hours, right? If it's the lock shop or whatever, if we're at Super Bowl, we could bring somebody on, 2 guys at 11 o'clock Pacific time too. So, it's good. I'm very interested to see how it gets ramped up here the rest of the week. But yeah, no, it's exciting to be here. No movement on the game yet. Hey, how's it still sitting at 2? Let's just quickly hit there. Anything from the Super Bowl actually that is worth discussing here today. We're going to get to golf tomorrow, Waste Management, obviously. I think Pete Greggy's going to join us. Jake will probably pop on Thursday. And then obviously a huge what do you figure, Matt? What do you figure, Huss, here? Like a prop show Thursday and then game Friday, or like do we want to do like
what? I mean, Thursday. I mean, I think we're basically going to be taught. We'll get into maybe some of our favorite props on both Thursday and Friday. Just because I mean, Thursday and Friday, there'll also be other stuff to talk about. There'll be hockey to get to. And we've got a nice slate of games tonight with both the Jets and Oilers back in action. And tomorrow, we'll dive into the golf with Pat. And then Jake will pop on Thursday, give his bet and his favorite props for the game on Sunday. And then we'll do the same on Friday. And I guess you'll be back in Edmonton on Friday.
I will be back in Edmonton on Friday. Okay. Our plan right now is we get back like about midnight Friday if everything goes, or midnight Thursday if everything goes well. I think Tommy and Gage are going to do the morning show, and then Huss or Maddie, Eric, and I will do the hangout, and then I'll stick around obviously for Log Shop and Oil Stream. So yeah, it should be good. We'll be back Friday, so I won't have to miss any shows, travel or anything.
A full recap of the week.
The debauchery.
In Vegas.
Yeah.
I am looking at I was just jumping on with Feinberg, and we were talking about it, and he's got a couple 49er futures, and he's of course a Chargers guy, but has a lot of respect for the Chiefs. And he was talking about, different kind of scripts, if you will, different plans of how the game could go. And he did mention Brock Purdy over 1.5 picks.
Oh, wow. What's that number?
Which I love. That is plus 435.
Oh, plus
So that's a
435
juicy one.
worth something. Yeah.
Over is even money. Over a half is minus 110, I should say. And then over 1.5 plus 435. So I'm going to take that one under advisement. That would be a very nice one to cash if you're wearing red.
Would.
By the way, did you see or catch any of the Super Bowl opening night last night?
I did not. We were plane, land, sphere.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of it. I saw Marjanovic talk to Travis Kelce about Zach Collaros. I saw that one pop up on social media. But that was it.
The Moj is always kicking around this week. I think he's done 23 in a row.
What a run. What a run.
He was
I should text him and see if he wants to pop by here.
We got to I'm sure they'll just be setting up at the row, just grabbing everybody that's coming on, anyone that they can get. But Moj is an absolute beauty. The first time I ever went to Super Bowl, it was in Dallas in 2011. And we got off the plane and we were there waiting for a cab, myself and Lawless. And there's Moj. And I'd never met Moj before. He's this big guy sitting there chewing on a big ass cigar. And we ended up going with him back to the hotel. And it was kind of funny. He is that's his thing. He always brings these nice cigars and he uses them to try to bribe people to come on. Hey, I got a nice cigar for you. Come on over to the table. We'll chat a little bit and make things happen. So
better move.
Yeah, no, he knows what's up. Crazy thing about
media night though? Was there anything that stood out?
I mean, I think Travis Kelce of his of the questions that were posed to him, I'm going to say 98% were about his girlfriend, which is not too surprising. But one thing that really stood out was the Chiefs are the villains now. I mean, we have become the Patriots in 2024. The crowd last night, and listen, I realize that Niner fans are fired up, but I'll give them a lot of credit. They showed up big time. I mean, when Kelce and Mahomes were talking, there was just tons of booing. They were even booing Andy Reid last night.
How did you boo Andy Reid?
Exactly. That kind of died down a little bit. But it was pretty funny. I mean, Kelce was like, oh, I like the boos more than the cheers. Get it going. And then the crowd went nuts. It was very different for the Chiefs team that was such a popular, good news story. Chris Jones talked about that a little bit. But you know what? I think they're leaning into it a little bit. They certainly seem to be very comfortable. I paid a lot more attention to the Chiefs side of things than I did the Niners. The Niners came second in that area, but Isaiah Pacheco was a character. I actually recorded a bunch of stuff I might tweet out later on because there was some just wild answers from Pacheco, which was great. But again, that's sort of the circus that get things going. It'll be more kind of legitimate football media, if you will, I think, covering the teams and the availabilities as we get closer to the game. And certainly as we get closer to the game, we'll kind of nail down more picks, but nothing really changed. The money line went down ever so slightly from plus 113 to plus 112 right now for Kansas City. As I say, I don't think it's going to get any higher than where it is right now. And I talked to Feinberg and he said, I can see that some of these books might have it closer to a pick 'em by the time we get to the weekend. So I think if you want to bet Kansas City, do it now. I think if you want to bet San Francisco, you probably can wait a little bit and get a better number as we get closer to the game, because at some point they're going to have to move this line with the amount of action on the Chiefs.
Huss, let's stick with football and just move to the Canadian Football League quickly. I know it'll be a big topic on Winnipeg Sports Talk today, but Brady Olivera, 2-year deal to stay. Now they lose Hardrick. DeMarcus Hardrick goes to the Riders apparently, but Brady Olivera, this is a big one. The focus now turns to Dalton Schoen, obviously, but you had to check this box off with Brady, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, we've been talking a lot on the program about, if it could only come down to one of the two guys, who are you re-signing? And I think we did a poll on our Why Not question of the day for our gang over at Not AutoCorp. We did a poll in the chat, and I don't know, there was like 500 votes. And I think it ended up being about 59% Brady, 41% Schoen.
Really?
And I think part of that, I think I think that 9% probably is the fact that he's a hometown guy and he's Canadian. Like, I really think it was sort of a toss-up. mean, I could make an argument that a top receiver that's produced the way that Dalton Schoen has so far in his 2-year CFL career is actually more important than a top running back. There's so many other things, though. That
Eric
makes
Taylor would. DT would for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, DT, I mean, I almost started a complete mutiny with him at the Grey Cup. I don't know if you remember that, but I had him come on the show, and he admitted that he didn't vote for Brady Olivera for most outstanding player. And the fans absolutely turned on him so fast. He said that he voted for Zach Collaros, but Collaros didn't win. So we went for McLeod Bethel Thompson, and I told him why that was a terrible pick. But the bottom line is that Brady has done so much to ingratiate himself here. He's such a great story, being a hometown kid. I know that they really, really wanted to get him in. But I do wonder what that means for the Bombers' receiving corps. The bottom line is, and this was going to be the case no matter what, Dusty, this was going to be an offseason where Danny McManus and Ted Gavaya were going to need to find some new players, some players coming in with talent that can contribute, that are not coming in on the big established veteran CFL salaries. Because the Bombers just had too many players that have played too well that were going to get paid.
Yeah, it's going
to happen. All happen in Winnipeg. And listen, I think Schoen's going to succeed wherever he goes. I mean, if he has competent quarterbacking, he will make plays. If he's gone, though, it's a big, big chunk of that Bomber offense. But I think with Streveler in the mix now, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a more run-heavy offense. And they already did run quite a bit in the past. So maybe they can kind of make up some of the loss of Dalton Schoen. But CFL is still a passing league. I mean, if he goes elsewhere, that is a big, big hole in the lineup, even with a guy like Kenny Lawler as your number one.
We were joking today on our show this morning because yesterday somebody in the hallway they saw us with our Edmonton Sports Talk hats and stuff, and the one guy's like, "Oh, you here for the Super Bowl?" And Matty Wannick was like, "Nope, Oilers Golden Knights." And so that today we were talking about it. Eric's brother Lucas there from Whale and the Wolf is like, "You guys should only tell people when they say, hey, why are you in town for the Super Bowl? Say no, I'm only here for the CFL free agency tampering period. That's the reason." I was just like, dude, that would be hilarious. What are you here for? The Super Bowl? Nope. CFL free agent tampering. There's lots of people around wanting to be here. So yeah, that's too funny. Well, we'll see where it continues to go. And on free agency day, obviously we'll have a huge CFL show on the Lock Shop, which should be a lot of fun.
Duck Dad is in chat. Duck Dad, I did not need to hear this. Saw this Reddit thread from a guy who claimed he is on a 16-game losing streak, picking the winner of the Super Bowl. Ouch. He's taking the Chiefs.
Ouch.
So
how can you get a 16-game losing streak?
Patrick Mahomes has some special powers, but it sounds like they're gonna be tested to the max if this guy's on a 16 Super Bowl losing streak. So he has not picked the correct Super Bowl since 2008. That's a long time.
Look. Yeah, that's a long. That's a long time. You know what? I thought Craig Button made it interesting today. We just kind of quickly, this week how it is with guests right at the end, even hockey guests, like who are you taking, Chiefs or Niners? And I thought Button made an interesting point. He goes, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. He goes, because if you look at the last two Niners games, they were pressed. They were stressed out. They didn't look good in doing so. And he goes, the Chiefs just kind of calmly took care of business. And I don't know how much we'll dive into this, but Craig's right. Like the Niners were pushed twice hard, whereas the Chiefs really simply haven't been. So I think that's got to factor into it because, if the Chiefs do have success against the Niners, let's say early, that's a tougher hurdle to overcome for San Fran than what they had to do the last couple of weeks. Nothing against my beloved Detroit Lions.
Well, for sure. And I mean, listen, I think that for San Francisco, I mean, their success is going to start on the offensive line. They've had the number one rush offense all year. They've got the most yards per carry. And Kansas City, of all the great things they did defensively, rush yardage against was not their strength. I mean, I've seen different numbers. Someone said they were 31st. I was looking, the rush defense overall was 17th. But the bottom line is that San Francisco, if they can establish their running game and get McCaffrey going, and keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, I mean, that's what they're going to want to do. I think Kansas City and Steven Spagnuolo is going to be designing his defense to stop the run first and force Brock Purdy to make the throws to beat them. But again, I don't take too much. I mean, with the 2-week break, I'm not taking too much from San Francisco's struggles in the playoffs so far. I mean, you can certainly make the argument that both Green Bay and Detroit blew it. I mean, they both, I think, feel that they had the Niners, but then they didn't. I'm not sure, especially when you look at Kansas City. I think it's 9 straight games allowing 7 points or less in the second half. I mean, they've made all the adjustments. They've been phenomenal. But again, it's the Super Bowl. You're playing the best team in the NFC, the team that's been the favorite. The Niners have been a favorite in every single game this season. It hasn't happened in 7 years. And again, they're a short favorite right now going into the game. But we'll have quite a bit to get to over the next 3 days when it comes to Super Bowl. But you got to be. Are you guys in tickets for the game tonight or in the press box?
We got tickets. Perfect. I mean, you got to be. Tommy's in the press box, I think, but we got tickets. And in Vegas, you got to be in the crowd. Right? It's just amazing here. We got to soak that in. So yeah, we got tickets to the game. I think tonight could be if the Oilers hit 17 in a row, Oilers fans are going to be pretty fired up in Vegas tonight. And I think it could end up being a bit of a runaway. So tomorrow might be the tough shows for us to get through. And then we can catch up on sleep Wednesday afternoon and then come home strong on Thursday, right? So we'll see what ends up happening.
Hey, you know what? There's so much oxygen in the casinos. You won't even feel tired. You won't even feel tired. It's truly.
I mean, I went and slept, between shows. I popped in. I laid down. I was in and out for about 45 minutes. Had a quick shower, and I'm ready to go. I could be up for another 24 hours now. This is great. You get a few of the White Claws in you, and you're gonna be living the good life. Hey, let's flip over to the National Hockey League, and let's start by a round of applause here for the New York Islanders. Last night, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The
Rangers. We hit the 4-1. The Islanders alone as a dog was the lock shot play of the day, so we got that one as well. Just a nice way. We said, it's just a couple of games. We'll see where we can go with them, but a nice way to get back on the NHL slate here. I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, looking at chat, Smitty the Welder says, keep sleeping on the Niners. I love it. Who's sleeping on the Niners? We just said they've been a favorite in every single game this season, the first time in 7 years. I mean, they've been the betting favorite all year long. They're the favorite in the game on Sunday. I don't think anyone's sleeping on it. But listen, it is an unbelievable matchup, and we remember the game between these two teams 4 years ago that Mahomes pulled out of the fire in the fourth quarter. And I don't think that Kyle Shanahan and a number of veterans on that team don't remember that one. But yeah, big night last night for the lock shop. If you just went with the Islanders, you won. If you rode with us, and we got a nice little boost too on a 2-gamer. It was plus 354, got it to plus 400.
Yeah, that was nice.
And the great thing, there was nothing else to bet on last night. So it was basically just a straight winning night. Which is going to go into this Tuesday slate in the National Hockey League and a few extra props, I think, to drop as we get later on. I mean, let's start off with your game. I mean, you guys there, you're going to be there.
We got a parlay coming for sure today with the slate that we got. We'll put together a little partner parlay as well. Yeah, the Oilers, they will not be skating just yet. So we're going to have to wait to see, exactly what the lineup is going to look like. But they go in winning 16 in a row. Huss, let me ask you this about the Oilers, because we were having this discussion today, but we were having it on our show with obviously, Oilers fans. They can tie that 93 Penguins team with the 17th win tonight. The Penguins won 17, then tied their final regular season game 6-6 with the Devils, then ended up losing in the second round to the New York Islanders that year. They were looking to make it a three-peat.
That was the David Volek double overtime goal in Game 7.
With Glenn Healy standing on his head in double overtime. And as a 12-year-old Montreal Canadiens fan, it was at that moment I knew that the Habs were going to win the Stanley Cup because the Penguins were out and Montreal was a team of destiny that year. So that was huge. But David Volek on the one-timer. And that was stunning, like the Pittsburgh Penguins. We talked about it with Button today. Since Scotty Bowman said that was a better team than the two that won the Stanley Cup. Like they were stacked. Yager had 95 points, was fifth on the team in scoring. Like it was just a ridiculous team. So they currently hold that record. The Edmonton Oilers tonight can make it 17. Like, do people around the league care if the Oilers hit 17 and tie a league record? Like, how's this winning streak for the Oilers being viewed outside of Edmonton? Obviously, people in Edmonton have to realize like they had to have this to get back in the mix. Now they did. And 17 would kind of put this team in regular season lore from an Edmonton perspective. But what about outside of the market?
You know what? Listen, I think that everyone is paying attention to it. Everyone's fully aware that the Oilers have done one of the biggest 180s in NHL history, from an absolutely god-awful start that cost their head coach his job to where they are right now. And it's incredible that it has happened in such a short period of time, but that's what happens when you win every night. The fact that it's 16 in a row, I think I think people knew the Oilers got back into it, but now this streak has made it a much bigger story. And I think this game tonight, while people would have been crazy if you follow hockey not to be paying attention anyways to it, I think now really becomes sort of that premier game on the slate right now. It's a weird spot though for the Oilers. I'll say this. I mean, you have McDavid coming off being the star of the All-Star weekend. I mean, I guess I know McMatthews got the win for the MVP, but the skills competition, all the media, everything that he was doing, along with Leon Draisaitl, they get on the road to Vegas, a pretty fun place that has a significant home advantage, both at the rink and away from the rink. And you know that all of a sudden before they were just winning game in and game out. Now all of a sudden you're on the verge of history, tying this record against a team, a rival, a division rival, a team that you know very well from the playoffs that has been decimated, but absolutely knows what's on the table tonight. And tell you what, if they're going to get to 17, the Vegas Golden Knights are definitely going to make them earn it.
Yeah, they will. I mean, this is we'll see how this one plays out tonight. Like, the thing is, sometimes teams will get hot and they're just riding momentum and everything's going well, and maybe they're not even, PDOing things good. But the Oilers, like, this is not a winning streak just built off momentum. Like, this is a winning streak built off of playing sound defensive hockey. They've allowed 18 goals in their last 14 games, which I would have never, ever in a million years thought that the Edmonton Oilers will do. So, with the streak on the line, the fact that it is Vegas and there's obviously something that, is there between these two clubs, I do like the Oilers in this spot tonight. I put together a little EST parlay, which I don't think is up. We're going to play it relatively safe compared to some of the EST parlays that we do usually roll out there, but I sent it over to the boys at CoolBet today, and I'm sure they'll have it up. It's just Oilers money line, Bouchard with a point, which is minus 119 on its own, and then McDavid over 1.5 points. So it'll probably be a number somewhere in the threes, I would think, maybe a little bit higher with the boost. But that's how Gager on our show this morning said he could see it being a little bit of a running gun. But the Oilers just have not played that way for about a month and a half. So, they've been winning tight hockey games, something we didn't think this team was capable of. Minus 154, and that's almost one of the biggest favorites on the board tonight. That's like the third or fourth biggest favorite. So we'll see how that one plays out. You guys have a game tonight as well. Pittsburgh Penguins road game for the Jets.
Double debut night in Pitt. Your boy,
Monahan and
Puljujarvi,
yep,
getting in for the Penguins. And Monahan for the Jets. Now, it's funny. I'm just getting the information from the morning skate. Monahan was the one Jet that wasn't out there this morning. Rasmus Kapari was in a spot, but he was wearing the light blue jersey, indicating he's one of the scratches. So they have said he expects to play. It was an optional morning skate. I guess Bones said he was surprised at how many players were out there. But again, no Sean Monahan. So I guess we'll sort of follow that. I'm going in on this Monahan tonight. I mean, how can we not? To score, Sean Monahan for the Winnipeg Jets is plus 420.
That's slightly better odds than Jesse Puljujarvi at plus 470, if you can believe it.
One of my favorite numbers. Yeah, well, and he's playing on the second line with Ehlers and Perfetti and is on the number one power play unit. So,
well, that doesn't stay around the plus 400 number in the future if he's in those spots.
No. So, we do have a WST parlay that will be going up. Is it under? Let's see here. EST is up.
EST is up, and it is plus 260. McDavid 2 points, Bouchard with a point, and the Oilers to win. And the Winnipeg Sports Talk one should be popping up too, unless it's in the lock shop already. Nope.
No, it's the Patty's Primetime Parlay, which is a Super Bowl over 3.5 field goals. He's already got it. The over 3.5 field goals, the Chris Jones sack, and Travis Kelce for the yards. Now let's just see if they put it in the cool bet lines. No, so it'll be coming up, but basically we're just going to be simple. Jets money line and a Monahan goal.
That's it. That's all you're looking for.
Yeah, we're not going to try and get too crazy. As I said, the Monahan goal is plus 420. So I'm sure it'll still be a pretty good number, just because of where he is on the odds board. But if we take away those two games, I'm nervous about betting the Oilers tonight. I'm just going to be straight up. I'm also nervous betting Vegas, but like of all the games that the Oilers have been running over teams, like I think this is going to be a very focused, very motivated Vegas Golden Knights team. Although they're still missing a number of their top players. I believe Theodore's still out.
Yeah, I'm looking at their IR right now. Theodore, Eichel, Carrier, Hutton, and Carlson are all still on the IR. So you're not getting the full-blown Vegas Golden Knights. The Oilers have been insanely healthy all year. Their blue line has only lost 3 man games all year. Like the Oilers have been very healthy so far this season, which is
3 man games
on the D line, on the blue line. They've only lost 3 man games on the blue line. Outside of that, their defensemen have dressed every single game.
You know what? To be honest, I think, well, I mean, I guess if you include Ville Heinola, who was going to be on the team, he missed the entire first half of the season. But Morrissey, Dillon, Pionk, DeMello, Sandberg, Schmidt, none of those guys have really been hurt at any point. But listen, if we stay away from our games tonight, let's take a look at the other games in the league.
Hey, by the way, Huss, quickly before we get to that, Dave Naylor, CFL free agency tampering window. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, who got Jameer Thurman earlier today. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have an agreement in place with free agent running back AJ Ouellette.
Oh,
that's a big one. That's a big one. That's why I had to break in. That's a big one. Argos lose their guy, joins the Riders, who also brought in Marcus Hardrick at right tackle and might be establishing a little something here.
Yeah, well, I mean, they better, because everyone's fired otherwise, with the exception of the new head coach. They got one more chance, O'Day and those guys, to get it right. That's wild. And I guess he was just waiting for Brady to sign to figure out kind of where he was going. I had said on our program that if Brady got 250 somewhere else that the Bombers couldn't match, that's the guy I'd be going for. I mean, he is just such a tank.
He's a beast.
He is an absolute beast. But I mean, for the Bombers, I mean, a big part of it too is having a Canadian running back and what that allows the Bombers to do with the ratio. Ouellette, although he sounds French-Canadian, is an American.
I know. It's always bizarre to me when I look him up.
Yeah.
As an American.
Yeah. So he does not have the Canadian passport, but that's a nice signing for the Riders. I mean, listen, they've been so bad the last few years. I mean, you knew they were going to spend some money and get a few good players in there. And I mean, Ouellette's a great signing. I'm just going to say straight up. I mean, as I said, if we didn't get Brady, I wanted Ouellette. He was the number 2 guy, and going to be a great head-to-head running back matchup on Labor Day and the Banjo Bowl when those teams get together this season.
All right, let me give you the starting goalies here, and then we'll dive into this slate. Husky kind of started to get into that. Right now, Kochikov is confirmed for Carolina. Thatcher Demko unconfirmed right now. For the Canucks, Anthony Stolars will start for the Florida Panthers. Ersson for the Flyers. These 2 guys are already confirmed. Montembeault versus Charlie Lindgren in that Habs-Caps game. Connor Hellebuck, Tristan Jarry, both already confirmed there. Jake Ottinger and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen confirmed for the Buffalo Sabres. Swayman and Markstrom. And then in that Colorado-New Jersey game, Justus Anunen and Vanacek for the Devils. Stuart Skinner already confirmed for the Oilers. Aiden Hill, the Oilers' nemesis from last year's playoffs, unconfirmed for the Golden Knights at this point. The nasty chat is flying along as well. Rod Z likes Florida -1.5. He likes Colorado and the over 6.5 goals with the goalies in that Colorado, New Jersey game, which I also have some time for as well. Huss, let's dive into this. What do you like?
Who the hell is Justus Annunen?
Nobody knows, Huss. Nobody knows. I'm going to look him
Justus
up right now.
Annunen. Here we are. Finnish hockey player.
That's all it says.
Getting introduced him for the first time. So he's played 1 game for the Avs so far, gave up 4, 900 save percentage. And he's played 23 games with the Colorado Eagles, 265 goals against, 908 save percentage. So
he's a big boy, 6'4".
Pretty good numbers there. Rod Z also had a crazy stat with Colorado in the second half of back-to-backs. Where is this one that he said? I think he said Colorado is 7-0 as the favorite in the second half of back-to-back. Washington 9-0 as a home favorite.
Colorado's minus 110 in that game on the money line.
Pardon me?
Colorado's minus 110 in that game on the money line.
Yeah, and I mean, they probably feel like they let one slip away. I mean, they had a 1-0 lead for the majority of that game, and then beautiful overtime goal by Alexis Lafreniere last night. That made me very happy as we got the Islanders to come back and win that game. The Devils are still without Jack Hughes. The Avalanche are a very top-heavy team, but considering the sketchiness of the goaltending matchup, but I would include Vanacek in there. He has not been particularly great for the Devils so far this year. I guess if you wanted to just go on the total, you could go on plus 6.5. And as much as I'd love to see the Avalanche lose, I've kind of followed them so closely considering the race in the Central Division. I kind of know what Rod's talking about in the fact that they consistently win these games. No real travel. I mean, they're going from MSG to
nothing there.
Newark.
I was just going to say New Jersey has allowed at least 5 in 3 of their last 4. They lost 6-2. They beat Vegas 6-5, so they allowed 5 in that game. They lost to Carolina 3-2, and then they lost to Tampa 6-3. So they've been hemorrhaging goals recently and for a lot of the season. So, yeah, I do like Colorado a lot at that number, especially minus 110. As long as Annunen doesn't let us down, we'll probably be okay.
What about so let's I'm in with Colorado. Shout out to Rod Z. What about the Canucks at Hurricanes? Canucks just had a very busy weekend. Quinn Hughes was the captain. Him, Elias, JT Miller. Was Besser there too?
Besser was there too.
So 4 guys. I mean, we sort of faded the Leafs yesterday, who didn't have to travel with everything that they had. Carolina, I believe, only had Aho in the game. And Carolina, pretty dang good team. I don't know.
They've won 4 of their last 5. They went into the break having won 3 in a row. What's the number in that one? What are the
I lean Canes minus 145 on the money line.
Canes minus 145 at home. Okay, let me just slot that in there. And we got Colorado. So those 2 are plus 223. That would check 2 boxes off. You staying away from Montreal, Washington?
Well, I know Rod said that Washington's 9-0 is a home favorite, which is a pretty nice number. I mean, Kuznetsov just went into the players' assistant program. Ovi was getting ripped in Dubai all week. Like, I just don't know if I trust Washington, period. But especially in this situation, I think it might be a bit of a stay away game.
What about Dallas?
I was thinking Dallas or the Bruins. Bruins at home against Calgary.
Oh, yeah. We talked about Calgary kind of pre-All-Star break, right? And where their mindset's going to be at right now.
Well, and exactly. I mean, they just traded Lindholm. Everyone else knows that they're probably getting traded, and Boston has been so good. Like, if we go Carolina, Colorado, Boston, it's plus 397.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That'll get a boost over 4, obviously.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's not a bad number for just 3 money line plays for 3 really good teams too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I'm thinking. I mean, again, that Avalanche on back-to-back on the road in Jersey is, it's basically a pick 'em. It's minus 110. But I definitely like Carolina at home, and I think Boston.
Yeah, I
think Boston is actually good value, even though it's minus 185. I mean, they'll be a pretty big favorite. And Calgary's just starting a big road trip.
Yeah. And then on a parlay, though, it's nice throwing in that minus 185, right? That'll bring it up quite a bit. Like, so, yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. I do like Boston better than Dallas in that spot at home. Dallas minus 158 favorite on the road against the Buffalo Sabres, who can be good at times, but are also super inconsistent. So Carolina at home against Vancouver, Boston at home against Calgary, and then Colorado on the quick turnaround back-to-backs, not much travel, going up against a New Jersey team that just cannot keep the puck out of their own net. So Colorado minus 110. We happy with that, Huss?
Yeah. Why don't we roll with that? Plus 397, and it'll probably be plus 440, maybe even plus 450 by the time Ev Dog and the boys get their hands on it.
All right, Bruins, Canes, perfect. Anything else going on? You got to get going here right away anyway, but
well, I mean, just looking forward to this game tonight. It'll be nice to have the Jets back. Head down to Win City, dial up. We got to have a good bar.
Win City pub, eh?
Oh yeah, the Win City will be going tonight. We're gonna be we'll get there early for the 6:00 game. Crank the sound with the crew, and then again, you got to have a sports bar that has the NHL Center Ice package. Support bars that make a point of doing that. Now, I don't know whether this game's on regular television, but I know we'll be watching Oilers Vegas as well. So maybe, even though I'm nervous for the Oilers and I kind of think that this is a very dangerous game, I'll put a little sprinkle on the EST parlay just because. And if you want to ride with me on the Monahan debut, it's up right now. Here we go. Plus 575 for the Jets and Sean Monahan. Monahan to score, Jets to win, plus 575. So we'll be jumping on that. And I guess on WST, we'll be talking about Brady Olivera signing.
Yeah, big time.
Which is huge. Get right out. We'll hear from the Winnipeg Jets before getting back on the ice. Stephen Wino's going to jump on with us. We'll also have Mike McIntyre and one of our faves, Jeff Feinberg, jumping on as well to talk a little Super Bowl and a little golf this week. Did you know, by the way?
Yeah,
Did you know, by the way, that Liv is in Vegas this week?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Maddie's like, maybe we should go check it out Thursday. I'm like, we don't have enough time. But yeah, Liv's here as well. You know, we had that lady on this morning from the convention center, and she said, like, obviously they land a lot of good sporting events, but she says a lot of sporting events say no to them. And I'm always like, wow, how do you say no to Vegas? You know, yeah, but she said, you know, they try to land a few bigger fishes as far as events go, and they haven't been able to do it so far. So, you know, Liv coming off the week, like you mentioned, Huss, in which they kind of got one up on the PGA, now rolls into Vegas here. And I'm sure you'll see a few of the big boys from the Liv Tour at the Super Bowl and having a pretty good time.
For sure. What's hilarious is that, like Feinberg was making this point, there's a lot of hubris to showing up in Vegas in Super Bowl week.
Oh, yeah.
And doing your event. Like, I do wonder how many people will be paying attention to it at all. But if they're smart, and he mentioned this, what they need to do and what they should be doing today and tomorrow is saying, hey, guys, the guys that we just gave you hundreds of millions of dollars, guess what? Mandatory media tour for 3 hours. We're going to Radio Row, and we're rolling John Rahm and Cam Smith and Brooks Koepka and Phil in front of all of these people that are hungry to talk to folks and get more publicity for Liv than they probably have in North America, at least in, maybe ever, from the guys that are actually playing there right now. So be interesting. We can touch on that tomorrow and talk a little golf. Our guy, Aaron Cockrell, by the way, our boy from Winnipeg on the DP Tour. I think he finished 6th at the Qatar Masters last week. He was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, finished 4th in Dubai behind only Rory, Hogard, and Cam Young. Having an unbelievable season so far. Now with the arrangement with the DP Tour, I mean, kind of in the mix to potentially get a PGA Tour card next year. So be putting a little sprinkle on him tomorrow at 50-1 for the Euro event. But overall, hockey's back. You guys are in Vegas. I'm very jealous, and I'll look forward to catching up with you tomorrow as we talk Phoenix Waste Management Open and some more hockey games. But we're back at it. By the way, I mentioned fading the Flames, which I'll be doing a lot of over the course of the second half of the season. When we did our futures bets, all those totals are still up.
Yeah.
And they'll probably be up until puck drop tonight for basically every team that didn't play last night. So you can get in on those. The line has moved for Calgary, though, for the total. When we got it in on the lock shop, it was 86.5. It's moved down to 85.5 right now. So I don't know. Probably that has a little bit to do with the money that's been coming in and the fact that Lindholm's gone. And we'll see what happens with these other trades. But in the meantime, have a great time tonight. I'll look forward to some more tweets and whatnot. And we'll check in with you tomorrow when we talk a little golf and some more pucks in the lock shop.
I got one more hour here of broadcasting, and then it's a little bit of free time. So looking forward to that.
Do you have planned stuff tonight or no?
Well, Oilers game. We got Oilers game tonight.
Oh, of course,
right?
of course.
So yeah, we got Oilers
when
game.
you go to Top Golf?
We're supposed to swing over there and check that out today. So we're hoping to get over there today. I've done Top Golf here before. It's the same one we go to today. It's pretty good. It's pretty good actually. Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be a heck of a place to pregame for a couple hours before going to watch your team at T-Mobile.
Yeah, we might hit that up. Then we're gonna go to a place called Beer Haus. You know Beer Haus?
Right? Oh yeah,
at T-Mobile.
There'll be hundreds of Oiler fans there.
Yeah.
There will literally be hundreds.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. We brought many stickers and lanyards to give away, so that's a big one for us. Huss, you have a good show today, buddy. Thanks a lot for joining us.
You got it, man. Enjoy.
There you go. That is the Lock Shop. Huss popping by. I'm going to take a look at some exclusives here before we get going. But once again, Edmonton Sports Talk. Awesome for us to be able to bring our shows right here to the Park MGM in Vegas. Huge shout out to our partners at YEG, Edmonton International Airport. If you are looking for non-stop flights to a number of different sports cities, including Vegas, you can get it. They have over 50 non-stop flight destinations, and about over 20 of them are to places with professional sports teams. So you can go check that out. I mean, I would like to chat with the folks about doing a Nashville trip at some point. I think that would end up being something that I could certainly get behind. We already had a few people on Monday when we were talking about it, are like, I'm in for Nashville. So we'll see how it continues to play out. Rod Z, the trend god, with a few more here that rolled in. This is great. I don't know about Rod Z. I mean, some of the resources that Rod's rolling with us here on the Lock Shop are terrific. This one's awesome. Buffalo has failed to cover the puck line at home in 9 straight on Tuesday. That's incredible. Also, Buffalo is 1-13 following a road win. Duck Dad, Bruins in regulation, -114. You know what? If you were going to play, we threw the Bruins. Normally, I'm not betting the Bruins -185 on the money line. That's just not going to happen. But if you want to throw the Bruins in on just a straight up play of -114, that would make quite a bit of sense. I like that play a lot. So that's good. Spency 5 cents. He says full D-Gen mode today. Today's one of those big days, right? Like Super Bowl's a big day. By the way, our Super Bowl party, Century Casino, basically sold out. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to that as well. We'll be live at Century Casino next Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. Penguins are 0-8 following an overtime win. Rod, man, enough. No more trends. I'm on trend overload here. Come on. All right, let's get to the exclusives available today over at CoolBet. Winnipeg Sports Talk Parlay is up as well. Let me just quickly recap these if you want to ride with some lock shoppers. Monahan to score a goal tonight. Winnipeg Jets to win, +575. Not too bad. I'll have a lock shop play of the day coming up a little bit later on CoolBet socials. And that'll be something for the Oilers game. I'll probably go shoot it outside of T-Mobile, which will be good. Our EST parlay, Connor McDavid, 2 points. Bouchard with a point. And the Oilers to win, +260. Nothing too crazy on that one. And then the CoolBet exclusives today. Oh, boy. Boys are running it out pretty good. Let's see. We got some Chiefs and Niners exclusives. We'll save those for the Super Bowl. Big game bets, that one as well. We'll get to all of those on Thursday or Friday. CoolBet exclusives tonight over at CoolBet. Someone roars, Canada scores. Calgary, Montreal, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Edmonton to combine for 18+. That's +120. Points from the point. McAvoy, Dahlin, and Quinn Hughes getting on that slate tonight at +425. The shots category. Rantanen, Ehlers, and Draisaitl all to record 3 shots, +425. Thought we had a really good Draisaitl versus the by the way, I am going to sprinkle the Puljujarvi anytime goal. Why not? It's +750 this morning. It's at +4 something now. So Oilers fans, former Oilers fans, or former JP fans hopping all over that one. Yeah, Draisaitl, where is it? I thought there was a good Draisaitl. Here we are. Draisaitl is shooting at 28.6% against Vegas in his last 10. Hello. That's interesting. Dry February. Leon Draisaitl with a goal and an assist. Edmonton to win, plus 440. Ooh. I might even like that better than the EST parlay. It's a plus 440. Draisaitl to goal, to score, get an assist. Oilers win, plus 440. Chalk it up. Bruins, Panthers, Stars, Oilers all to win, plus 600. The Blue Nosers, Brad Marchand with a point, Sid the Kid with 2, Nate McKinnon with a goal at plus 750 for tonight. And then how sweet it is, Elias Pettersson and Jesper Bratt both to score tonight. That will be plus 800. So that's something that you can look at as well. All right, that is going to do it for the Lock Shop today, live from Vegas. Once again, all of our shows, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, coming to you from the Park MGM, courtesy YEV, the Edmonton International Airport, and the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, hooking us up here last night. It was a lot of fun. 2 guys in the goalie coming up. Myself, Cass, and Gager will continue to get set for the Oilers and the Golden Knights tonight as they look to make it 17 in a row. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a sub. We would appreciate that. Make sure autoplay is on. It'll take you right on over to 2 guys in the goalie, which will get fired up here in less than 5 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us on the Lock Shop today. Good luck tonight, and we will talk to you tomorrow.